I like to discuss decision-making models in our decision-making theory course. Before we begin, let me introduce myself. My name is Meri Anggraini, student ID number 23411181 from the Management 23D class. The concept of models in decision-making. Decision-making model is representation or simplification of a real-world situation used to help understand, analyze, and solve problems more effectively. Models serve as tools for illustrating the relationship among factors that influence decision. The importance of models in decision-making lies in their ability to simplify complex problems, facilitate the analysis process, helps evaluate various alternatives, and support more systematic, rational, and accountable decision-making. Classification of decision-making models. The classification of decision-making models aims to help decision-makers choose the model that best fits the characteristics of the problem at hand. Not all problems require the same model. For example, operational problems involving numbers and data typically use formal and quantitative models, whereas problems related to human behavior more often use non-formal or qualitative models. By understanding this classification, the decision-making process can be carried out more effectively, efficiently, and in line with the organization needs. Quantitative and qualitative model. Quantitative models are decision-making models that use numerical data, mathematical formula, and statistical calculation. This model produce more objective decisions because they are based on facts and measurable data. Examples include cost analysis, sales forecasting, and linear programming. Qualitative model. Qualitative model is decision-making model that relies on experience, intuition, assumption, and subjective judgment. This model is typically used when problems are difficult to quantify or when the available information is incomplete. Examples include assessing customer satisfaction or evaluating candidates for employment. Types of models used in decision making. The first, expected value. This is method for estimating the average outcome that will be obtained by taking into account the probability of each event. The goal is to achieve the highest expected value of profit. Second, metric model. Model that present the question alternative in tabular form, rows and columns. To facilitate comparison, its purpose is to help evaluate several options based on specific criteria. 3. Indifference curves. Curves that illustrate various combinations of choices that yield the same level of satisfaction. This helps identify the option most preferred by consumers. Characteristics of models according to experts. Abstraction and simulation. Model is an abstraction of reality that simulates its essential elements to aid in decision-making analysis. Flexibility. Models are adapted to the situation and purpose of their use, both conceptually and physically. Communication. Models provide a means of abstract communication, whether through language or mathematical symbol. Expected value models, metric and indifference curves. Verbal model. Models that use word explanation or description to understand and solve problems. Operational games, models that use simulation or games to practice and test decision making. Rational decision, models that use logical and systematic steps to select the best alternative. Verbal models of rational games and rational decision. A verbal model. A verbal model is model that use word, explanation, or analogies to describe problem and aid in decision making. This model is often used to understand situations within organization or bureaucracies that are difficult to measure with numbers. B. Operational games. This model uses simulation or games as a means of decision-making practice. In this simulation, the person plays a role as part of the system to understand the impact of each decision made. Examples include strategy games, business simulation, or word simulation. C. Rational decision. Rational decision making is the process of selecting the best alternative toward systematic and logical steps. The steps include identifying the problems, determining execution criteria, developing various alternatives, evaluating alternatives, and selecting the best alternative. Intuitive models, mathematics, and computer simulation. The first, intuitive model. An intuitive model is decision-making process based on a person's experience, instinct, and knowledge without resorting to overly complex analysis. This model is typically used when time is limited or the available data is incomplete. Second, mathematical model. Mathematical model use formula, numbers, and mathematical calculation techniques to help determine the most optional decision. This model produce more objective decisions because they are based on data and calculation. 3. Computer simulation. Computer simulation model replicates real-world conditions or situations using computer programs, allowing for this decision alternative to be tested without directly facing the associated price. Behavior classical and problem tree models. Number 1. Behavior model. The behavior model is the decision-making model that takes into account human behavior, information constraints, experience, and the desired level of satisfaction. In this model, decision makers do not always seek the best solution, but rather solution that is considered good enough and appropriate for the given circumstance. 2. Classical model. The classical model is rational and systematic decision-making model. This model assumes that decision-makers have complete information, enabling them to choose the best alternative. Number 3. Problem tree model. The problem tree model uses branching diagram to identify the root cause of a problem, the resulting impacts, and possible alternative solutions. This model is frequently used in group discussion and brainstorming sessions. Conclusion: the decision-making model discusses the importance of using models as tools to simplify complex problems so that they are easier to analyze and understand. Various types of models, such as quantitative, qualitative, probabilistic, rational, intuitive, mathematical, computer, simulation, behavior and decision tree models, can be used according to the characteristics and needs of the situation at hand. By understanding these various models, decision-makers can select the best alternative in a more systematic, effective, logical, and responsible manner, resulting in more accurate decisions that achieve the desired objectives. Okay, that's all the material we're covering. Thank you for watching this video. See you in the next video.